Good evening, Tony Dattino here with you. I am late tonight. It has been a crazy day, but I promise to always get on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my Live with Tony's. So as much as it has been a crazy, wonderfully busy day today, as I always promise, I will get the Facebooks done. Either I should have done this earlier, but I decided to go do some of my swimming laps in the pool mid-afternoon is when I probably should have did this because I knew from 4 o'clock on my evening was going to disappear on me. So, and why my evenings disappearing? Well, one of the teams that are working with our memory championship activities happen to be in California. So we work on trying to find the right times. So we do our times with them in the 4 o'clock East Coast time, which is their post-lunchtime on Friday afternoons, which brings most people together at a convenient time that works for everybody before we then start our weekends, etc. So, busy afternoon, some great things going on. So, August the 7th, Lumosity has got 2 of their events that people have been practicing. They've got people that have been given their sign-ons for the Lumosity website. And we are going to play the first game that they're going to do, and they'll have 10 minutes total time to go play that game. We'll get scoring from that event, and then we'll rank our mental athletes. Then they will go to a second event, and they will have 15 minutes to do that. So the thing we came up with today is that we'll give all of the mental athletes that sign on to Lumosity, we'll give them a block of 30 minutes with the expectation that it will be 10 minutes for the first event and 15 for the second, and 5 minutes they get to breathe. And so at the end of those 30 minutes, we will have a ranking of the Lumosity scores on their games. We'll take a break. We'll have some speaking going on during that time for our audience. And when that is all done, we will then move our mental athletes into the 3 events that we are working with the Art of Memory to put online for us. People are being given their subscriptions for that and what they need to sign on to play those events and games. We need to finalize the timing with that team of people. We've kicked around 2 to 5 minutes, and we think in some cases that the 5 minutes for some of their games may be just too simple for our mental athletes, but we want to be reasonable and fair to all the people participating, and certainly be able to have a scoring to where when we finish with the 5 events of August the 7th, 2 Lumosities, 3 Arts of Memory, all online, which enabled us to do this and not have to do it live. We will then rank our top competitors. We're planning to have our memory champions from the past will come automatically to the 12 that we move to October 23rd. And we're going to take 2 or 3 of the people that are Lumosity subscribers that have been with Lumosity for years, along with then the mental athletes that sign up that are non-Lumosity subscribers, and we will bring them to Orlando, Florida on October the 23rd. And we have begun planning out a really fantastic day or time for them to be here in Orlando. So that's another big planning session that the team has begun working on. And I spent a good part of yesterday meeting with the folks at the conference center where we're going to host this. It's actually a town square, the Rosentown Square here in Orlando, which is on Apopka Vineland Road, a few minutes from Disney Springs. So any of you Disney folk, maybe you'll get on the stage over at Disney Springs after the event, announce yourself as the USA Memory Champion. But in any case, we started meeting with the folks, the event planner and the executive there, as to what the planning is, what the AV equipment is, and off we go again with how that is going to set up and how we're going to intersperse one of the Lumosity games into the final 5 events that we'll have on October the 23rd. And so there will be a Lumosity event that opens that up for us. So that will be our opening event. And then from there, we'll begin with our words to remember. we'll move into our tea party, we'll do the long-term memory event, and then we'll wrap it up with our deck of cards, and in between, right, we break, we have speakers. It's a phenomenal afternoon of entertainment, fun, and demonstrating to people the excitement of what they're able to do in improving their memory. And so that then puts us into the mode now of getting our local television networks to be there to cover some part of the day and let them see exactly what goes on in a memory competition and bring that to Orlando, Florida. Some of our media people in the press that also do hard copy, newspapers and things like that. So we had sessions yesterday and today on how do we get the proper media coverage, how do we bring right people into the auditorium to observe the event, and then what are we looking to accomplish. So the big picture of the event is what I've always wanted it to be. I want people to realize there is more they can do with their memories and their own brain abilities than they ever thought possible. And so what better way than to take 12 people from across the United States and put them on a stage and have them compete in a series of events, of which several will be obvious to the audience. So our spectators will be able to play, if you want to call it, participate in observing what our mental athletes are studying, what words and what tea party guests and what are the long-term memory things they need to remember. And so we will have that as part of our day for the afternoon of October 23rd, where we start with 12 and we'll finish with our champion. And we'll present them with our famous hippocampus trophy that we have made up for it, which depicts hippocampus is the part in our brain where we centralize all of our functionalities for memory. And so this is where we are. We've got a place. It's the town center at the Rosen Center in Apopka Island in Orlando. It's near Disney Springs, Florida. We're working on the 7th. It's 3 weeks away from tomorrow. We're getting close to 100 mental athletes, which I think is fantastic. And people are practicing in the Lumosity games, which we gave them access to, and to the Art and Memory games. And we'll take the top people from that and bring them into a live auditorium on October 23rd. And so we're also working on how do we get maybe food vendors that may want to come and be a part of seeing what needs to be done in terms of foods and supplies, that people may want to get up and have a snack while the mental athletes are doing their thing. So the pieces are beginning to come together. I get so amazed at the skill level of the team that I have around me, and the skill levels that they have to be able to plan such an event that has been done for years with such precision and such perfection in terms of what we present to an audience, that people are just blown away. And what I was saying to the folks at the Rosen Center yesterday is, when you first start working on something called a memory championship, people do kind of look at you a little spacey. They kind of like, and the reality of it is when people realize, well, gee, memories and cognitive fitness are like one of the hot topics of the day. I mean, I got more literature today I'll be reading over the weekend that talks about the importance of mental fitness and memory and cognitive fitness. And memories are a top concern of people as they're especially getting older. And here we are demonstrating to people the ability of having skills that you can learn if you choose to want to do so, being demonstrated in live events that can be received by the audience. In some cases, they can play along and realize that you too can improve your memory. Now, you don't need to be a mental athlete. You don't need to be in a competition. The only competition you can have is within yourself, to realize there are skills you can learn. Do you want to take the time to learn what those skills are and then practice them and prove to yourself that there's so much more that you've got the ability to do up here with what we've got in terms of our thinking, creativity, imagination, than we ever thought possible. And if you can watch this and walk away with that messaging, then we've done a fantastic job in putting on our 22nd USA Memory Championship. 22, yeah. Can you believe that? And the years go by, and we keep plugging away, messaging to the people, this could be fun, it's entertaining, the speakers are educational, and clearly worth the time that anyone would want to invest in their own personal health. And prior to that, if anybody wants to see what the skills are and what is necessary, you can take a look at our Maximum Memory Mastery online course. It's the Maximum Memory Mastery online, Maximum Memory Mastery, M3 is what we call it. You can get a flavor of this. Look at the USAMemoryChampionship.com website, USAMemoryChampionship.com website, and you're able to take a look at prior events and little vignettes and records and how we've proceeded to move through the years. And we do have Tina Datino converting what we do here on Facebook and moving it over to YouTube. So you're also, if you've got friends that are not, oh God, I saw this amazing topic or conversation on Facebook, but they, I'm not on Facebook. Hopefully you're either on Facebook or YouTube. Most people are on one or the other. You can go take a look at this on YouTube under the USA Memory Championship, live with Tony. So with that, I want you all to enjoy your weekend. The weekend, some weekends, or they all go by the same amount of time, but boy, some just seem to whiz and zip by. And may yours be a safe one, a pleasurable one. We're in summer. I hope everybody's not out too much getting burned up in the sun, but enjoying it to a level that's fun and enjoyable. And we shall see you on Monday afternoon talking about Live with Tony and some of the materials I read over the weekend. So enjoy, be safe, keep the hands washing. If you have, look, put a mask on. It's worth it. It's not worth getting sick. If you can avoid this, keep a mask on. Practice some level of distancing, especially if you're going inside. And I want to see you all back here on Monday evening in the 5 o'clock hour.